everyone, it's Simmuz here. Welcome to a brand new video. And what the hell is happening? So I wanted to make this video just to talk specifically about what's going on right now in The Sims 4. And I feel like it's my duty to talk about this because I am a Sims 4 content creator. As much as it's, I'm a smaller channel and whatever, I still talk about The Sims 4 all the time. So I feel like it has to be said right now with what's going on. Before jumping in and talking about everything I want to talk about, if you enjoyed The Sims and the Sims franchise as much as I do, don't forget to leave a like, follow, subscribe, everything. All my links are down below as well. And leave a comment, of course, telling me which is your favorite Sims game. But this is a very important video that I wanted to talk about, especially because last year I made a video talking about how great it is to play The Sims 4 in 2023. But apparently that does not correlate with how well you can play The Sims 4 in 2024, which is kind of annoying because I love this franchise. I love Sims 4. It's one of my favorite games. I play it all the time and it's very, very, very annoying right now. So if you don't play The Sims 4, or if you are not on Twitter, because basically that's the only place where there's some conversation going around it, now The Sims 4 is in a very messy state. And that's been going on since November of last year at this point, maybe December, when For Rent came out first. So obviously The Sims 4 is not a perfect game. It always had some issues. It always had issues with some certain packs, certain gameplay, certain features. There's always been some stuff going on, but usually these are kind of a smaller issues that you can look past and still play the game with most of its content or all of its content without any issue or any major issues. But ever since For Rent has been released and it's been out for the public, the game has been very, very much struggling. And I'm not talking about like performance issues, which, also are a problem and do exist. But I am talking about specifically bugs that do corrupt saves. And that's crazy to me that we have such a big issue that it still has not been resolved at this point. I know they did a flash patch for Rent just to resolve the pack issue because For Rent had a lot of major bugs. So I want to talk about it for a little bit. First thing first, there were issues with the renting system, which is terrible because For Rent is literally all about the renting system. So if that doesn't work, it means the whole pack doesn't work. And yes, the world is beautiful, the items are beautiful, and it's fun that we can actually make our own apartment buildings. I love making them, but they have a lot of big issues in gameplay, like the rent not coming in at the right time, the wrong amount of rent coming in, issues with the pricing, like rents that are in the billions of dollars. And I've had these issues myself as well. I've seen these issues personally, so I know that it's not just someone on the internet talking, and it's something that really is affecting the game very much because I see it all the time. And I'm very fortunate that most of the bugs that people encounter, I don't really see them as often. I did have a couple bigger issues, but overall my experience in The Sims 4 has always been pretty nice. I've been very fortunate and did not encounter many bugs, but since For Rent, the bugs have really shown, and you can also see it in bigger Simmers creators that are talking about it, especially like if you follow Jim Sterner. He had to stop his For Rent series because the bugs would make the series completely unplayable at this point, and he didn't really know what to do. Like every time you travel, you lose all the things that you have, all the houses that you own, and every time that you kick out someone, you always get fined and you lose a bunch of money even though it was a fair eviction. And if they break a rule, you cannot enforce the rule, and if you have more than a certain number of units in the game, it starts breaking the game. It's very big issues. And that is already one major issue to me, just because we are talking about an expansion pack. So this is something that people pay $40 or more if you're in different countries just to get it in their game, and it doesn't work. And I know they did a flash patch because at one point, if you had a certain number of, or if you had more than 6 units using cheats, you can do that, more than 6 units in one lot, you could encounter save corruption, and that could spread to other saves as well. So you would lose all your sims, your builds, your gameplay, your families, everything that you played with. You could lose that just because of this big little bug. So that was already like a major issue, and I'm glad they resolved it. I think like a week later after the pack came out. But it's crazy that a $40 expansion pack has such a big major issue in it. I understand smaller bugs, like when we got Growing Together, there were a few smaller issues with, for example, the box, the memory box that you can trade with people. Like there were issues with that the items would disappear or not work. And there were a couple of issues with the tooth stuff that they had to take out for a little while and fix it later. But those are not the main component of the pack. Those are additional things that you can do with it. The for rent system is the pack. It's the only thing you can do with the pack, which is crazy that that does not work and actually causes issues with the game. And my bigger issue with that is that they did not release statements in-game like they could, like in the main page of the game. So people that are not online, and like they're not on Twitter, they're not on Facebook, they're not on Instagram, and don't see that there are these bugs going on, they wouldn't know. So there are players that don't follow the Sims on, I don't know, Twitter, so they wouldn't know that there is this bug going on, and they could lose all their saves, which, you know, in the big scheme of things, is not the worst thing in your life. Of course, it's a video game, yes, but you are talking about hours and hours of people playing, just going down the toilet, which is very frustrating. And I wish this stopped here, and I wish I could stop with For Rent and just talk about that and be done with it. But they did it again with the new stuff pack. So Crystal Creation is now experiencing another major bug in the game. So if you own Crystal Creation and you put jewelry on your sim, when you take off the jewelry from your sim, the face shape and the body shape completely changes. This happens especially in teen sims, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if it does happen in young adults or in other life stages, but I know it does happen on teens. And when that does, you know, it messes up with the face and the body shape, you cannot revert back unless you cheat it and try and fix it yourself and try and get it as much close as it was before, but it will ruin your sims. So I highly suggest, if you do own the pack, do not use the jewelry until there is a fix for it. And what's very frustrating about that is that the Sims team did not at all talk about this bug on their main accounts. They have 2 Twitter accounts, they have an Instagram, they have a Facebook page, and they did not talk about this bug at all. And it's crazy because this is another major bug that does also influence the save file and the way your sims look forever. So it will be very frustrating as a player that I buy the new pack, try the jewelry on, don't really like it, change it out, want to try something different, your sim is changed forever. That's very annoying. When making sims in the way that you want and the shape that you want is one of the main focus of the entire game. So what's really crazy to me, it's not the bug itself, like that's very annoying, and it's crazy because again, this is a major gameplay element. This is the gameplay element actually for this pack, and it doesn't work. That's already very annoying, but it messes up with your sims and nobody can know about it because EA does not talk to its players. And it's crazy because we already established this in the past, and they said they would start to be more open with us. They made a whole Twitter account just to talk about this bugs and issues and things that they are resolving, and they're not using this. How are you not using the thing you created, the account you made, just to talk about bugs, to talk about the bug? That is game changing. Like, let's use your brain. And another issues that we're having, I've seen that's happening right now. I've not played the game myself, so I don't know if that's an issue with every save file, but I know there is an issue with moodlets right now. So if you reload a save, all your moodlets will be gone. And you know, at first I was like, oh, that's kind of annoying because, you know, if you have a certain moodlet or something, but I had thought about it. And like pregnancy is a moodlet. some certain stages of life, like for example, if you're a plant sim, if you are a mermaid, I think, those are modelets. These are invisible modelets that can be deleted with this bug that's happening right now. And again, the Sims team has not said anything about this bug. I've also seen other issues like arising again. For example, the bug with gardening plants reverting to the dirt stage basically and dying off without any issues or reasons. That's also something that's been happening again, even though they technically did resolve it back when Horse Ranch, I think, came out more or less. But I've seen people talk about that again. I've seen people talking about an issue with console, so if you're playing on console, there is a red bar that sometimes appears in a corner, and it's just there, and you have to get used to it. I was talking about that with my friend Pedro Upixold on Twitter, because he plays on PS5, so I was like, he showed me this bar and was like, do you know what that is? And I was like, I don't know, maybe you clicked something on your screen, or there's like, I don't know, it's so crazy. Like, how does that happen? Another bug that I've seen happening, apparently the pie menu for the Sims interaction doesn't show up for certain Sims, and that's apparently related to the singing skill. If your Sims has more than 5 levels in the singing skill, then they cannot interact anymore, which is insane. How does that even happen? First thing first, why the singing skill? Why would that impact anything? The singing skill has been in the game since what, like seasons, or even before that? It's been years at this point. Why is it an issue now? And how does it happen that if you use the singing skill you lose interactions? Like, what how somebody explains, please explain it to me. And also, let's talk about the issue with the shopping cart. So The Sims has added the shopping cart in the gameplay page because we didn't have enough ways to access packs, apparently, because you can only buy them through the EA app and the main menu and the gallery. And what the fuck, like, okay, fine, that's okay. Let's add this ugly bug, like little cart icon in a little corner. Sure, it's annoying, yes. Is it ugly? Also, yes. Is it very annoying when you're gameplay, like you're playing with the game and you accidentally click it because it's right there? I know this is not being released for everybody, but I have it personally, and I have issues. Like sometimes when I want to open the gallery, I almost click it. I always like catch myself before it, but it could happen that I just click it randomly and it just opens up the shop. Well, because why not? Like, that makes no sense. But also that had issues. Thankfully, I did not experience this, but apparently if you opened the game the first time when this was released as an update, you had this flashing icon and it would continuously flash the whole time. I know they patched this at this point. I just really hate that little button. Like, I think it's awful and it's so not necessary, especially when we can buy packs in the EA app and the main menu. When you open up the game, you also see all the packs. Like, why do I need a third way to buy packs? There is literally no need, especially since this came out when all the for rent stuff was happening. There was this major bugs, and right after that, the issue with jewelry and the pie menu deleting itself and the I don't even remember all the bugs that are right now in the game. So I wanted to make this video just so that if you are a player that plays The Sims 4 casually and you don't know about these issues, I'd say maybe hold off playing The Sims for a month or so. Hopefully some of those bugs will be corrected before then, especially the bigger ones that are like game breaking. Or another option is, of course, keep updated with The Sims through their social media. I know if you don't really use other social media than YouTube, that's very annoying. I highly suggest you follow some creators that talk about this stuff more in depth than me. For example, I know Simmer Aaron talks about this all the time. Aaron Seagull as well, they talk about it all the time. And maybe do follow them, because since they are news focused channels, they do tend to speak more in depth and more regularly about this kind of things. But I still wanted to like make a video talking about it, just because if you haven't seen or know about any of these bugs, please make sure your game is safe. Back up your save file if you want to make sure they're safe. Just copy them and store them somewhere else. And just make sure your game is always up to date. I guess maybe don't actually. I don't know. I don't even know at this point. But yeah, it's very annoying, and I thought I should have done a video about this, just because since last year I made a video that was like 9 reasons to play with The Sims 4 in 2023, yay! And now I'm like, there's like 15 reasons why you shouldn't in 2024. Which is very annoying, because as you know, if you know me, you know my channel, you know my social media presence, you know I love The Sims, I love this franchise, I love The Sims 4, even though I know a lot of people don't. It's very annoying. It's very frustrating to be in this kind of position, especially now, because I am not going to buy packs for rent. I have not bought any packs. I did win one giveaway, I think, on Twitter, but I'm not going to do any like buying of packs after, you know, this, until the bugs are resolved. And I hope you also could join me in that. If we don't buy packs for like a little bit, like let's not buy Crystal Creation maybe because it's bugged, maybe, I'm just saying. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to do like a little update thing just to let everybody know. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.